you said, you had the world's support on October the 7th, but you lost it by doing a genocide and now by starving children in Gaza. There's a famine. That's what the world is saying. We can't tolerate the famine.
We lost it to a great extent because of Hamas propaganda. But as long as we have the United States...
It's not Hamas propaganda to say there is a famine in Gaza, Danny. That is the ruling of the IPC.
There is no famine in Gaza.
So why did the IPC say there is a famine? Why does the IPC, which defines what is and isn't a famine, and has done so for 20 years, why is it saying there's a famine in Gaza City?
The IPC changed the criteria.
That's a lie.
The IPC was not even there.
That's a lie. What criteria did they change?
It based itself
what criteria did they change, Danny? That's a lie.
No, the data,
what criteria did they change? What criteria did they change?
Hamas data.
Hold on. Danny, you just made a false claim. What criteria did they change? I keep hearing this talking point. It's false. There was no change in criteria. What criteria did they change?
They changed many criteria, but
they didn't change any. Hold on, Daddy. What criteria did the IPC change? Because they used the same criteria, the MUAC criteria, that they used to declare a famine in Sudan last year. They used the same criteria in Gaza. You made a false claim. Let me say this, not just the IPC. Over 100 humanitarian aid groups from around the world just signed a joint statement saying Israel is blocking them from bringing in aid. You want us to believe you, the Israeli military, Netanyahu, Smotrich, but not ANERA, Christian Aid, the Danish Refugee Council, the Norwegian Refugee Council, Polish Humanitarian Aid, Pax Christi, Sabeel Kairos, Oxfam, Doctors Without Borders, Save the Children. I could go on and on, Danny. Are you going to say they're all Hamas? They're all pro-Hamas, are they? Ridiculous.
No, I think they are naive, and I think they are basing their assessment on Hamas
No,
data.
they're not. They're not using Hamas data. They're saying that we are being blocked from bringing our trucks in. Danny, they're not talking about famine.
There was famine.
Danny, listen to me. They're not talking about famine. They're not talking about famine. They're saying, can I finish a sentence?
In Sudan, in
Danny,
Somalia,
they are not talking about famine
the same thing here.
or Hamas propaganda or Hamas data. They're saying their guys on the ground are being blocked from bringing in baby formula by Israelis at border crossings. That is their experience. They're wrong. ANERA's wrong. Christian Aid's wrong. The Danish Refugee Council is wrong. The Norwegian Refugee Council is wrong. Polish Humanitarian Action is wrong. Doctors Without Borders is wrong. Save the Children is wrong. Oxfam is wrong. 100 aid groups are all wrong, Danny. Do you realize how silly you sound?